Good evening. Here are our news headlines for tonight's news bulletin. The Public Health Division has issued a travel advisory as they continue to monitor Zika virus and different syndromes present in the region. Rocket Systems work on infrastructure developments to improve their internet services on the island. Government departments increase their presence in Niue High School to encourage students to seriously consider their career options. Ekalesia Keresiano Niue congregations came together for their annual Ahume program, raising more than $40,000 for developments within the church. Niue's Public Health Division are continuing to monitor developments within the region as they release their second syndromic surveillance situation report this week. Some of the key findings in Niue had a total of 24 diarrhea cases, 63 influenza-like illnesses, and one usual event. That was based on surveillance at the Niue Fall Hospital and at the airport. The mobility of people and contagious nature of some of the illnesses circulating in the region has prompted the need for ongoing surveillance and advisories, especially for people intending to travel to areas with known cases. There have also been a few syndromes flagged in the Pacific, such as acute fever and rash cases in French Polynesia, Palau and Tokelau. Diarrhea in FSM, Samoa, Niue and Solomon Islands, and the number of Zika cases in the Pacific are also still being monitored. Marshall Islands has confirmed its first case, with 3 more suspected cases this week that have been sent to Hawaii for testing. 4 suspected cases have been reported in Fiji, and all had recently traveled to countries affected by Zika. Investigations are also pending. The outbreak in Tonga is ongoing with over 800 cases reported, and the Ministry of Health have increased efforts to destroy mosquito breeding places. In American Samoa, 271 suspected cases with 10 confirmed positive. Health have released an advisory for travellers, but especially those who will be going to the Festival of Arts in Guam, stating that this mass gathering of people from all over poses unique public health risks, not only to citizens of the country, but also to visitors. Visitors have been advised to protect themselves against illness and injury, to plan ahead and follow health advice like getting vaccinated before travel, control pre-existing medical conditions, to stay hydrated, and also to be mindful of the weather, food and water safety, amongst other measures. Rocket Systems infrastructure upgrade is underway with just over a week to go until they roll out a new user pay system. Niue has benefited from relatively free internet services since 1997, when the Internet User Society of Niue Foundation was set up. Over the years, the gradual changes from dial-up internet to wireless internet has had its challenges. Government introduced their ADSL internet services a few years ago, and that is arguably faster, but comes at a cost. We spoke with Rocket Systems manager Imani Lui to find out more about what it takes to provide Wi-Fi internet services and why these changes are necessary.
Quite a few years now, a number of years, Niue has had free Wi-Fi, and that's to do with the funding agency that has been IUSN. And one of those key issues is how can we make this sustainable and at the same time improve the infrastructure. A lot of people have been supporting and advocating for better connectivity. Right now we just cannot do that with the current funds available to us. So this is a project looking into not just the short term, asking people to pay for the fees, but it's more to do with medium to long term progress. We'll be looking at increasing the bandwidth as we go, as well as improving the local infrastructure. If you remember, the actual network was designed by Richard Sinclair back in the days, and a lot of those equipment are still available right now, but it's coming to the end of its lifespan, so we're having to replace those, as well as replace those with newer technology that is able and capable enough to handle the capacity that we're looking to bring down to the island in the next year to next 2 years to ongoing. Niue, like most of the island nations, we cannot afford for the time being fiber under the sea, so most of the time our service is provided over satellite, and it's quite expensive for the capacity that you have to buy. Over the years, it's come down from over $3,000 per 1 meg, and it's getting less and less. With new technology coming out, it's getting a lot cheaper, but that's to do with just time and what is available in the satellite market. But right now, we're still having to pay those fees at more cost compared to someone, I guess, in New Zealand who would be just on an ADSL, because New Zealand is on quite a few fiber networks. All over the past few days, we've just been working on the satellite upgrade, and that is coming along fine. We'll leave the rest of the local infrastructure till later, but our main aim right now is just to double the bandwidth.
Wi-Fi users have voiced a desire for faster services, and Rocket Systems is about to deliver that at a cost. In addition to these changes, the internet service provider has also changed satellite providers. That requires some changes to the infrastructure and hardware used.
ADSL is on your fixed line, so it goes on copper, and then your Wi-Fi it's basically coming across on wireless to either your device or your home router. I realized that the difficulties of having to go from a free Wi-Fi to a charged system, but if the people would like to come tomorrow at 5 o'clock on Wednesday to the golf club, we'll be doing a presentation on the history, where we are currently at, and also the proposed changes coming into effect, as well as the short to long term plans that we have. And basically we're looking to invest in the people, so we're taking their fees and applying it to more upgrades as we go.
A public consultation will be held on Wednesday at the Niue Golf and Sports Club. This will be an opportunity for customers and users to get an overview of the changes and open up room for discussions and questions. Niue High School students are getting a bit of guidance for potential careers as part of an initiative by the school in partnership with a number of different government departments. In the past, the school would hold career expos to give students exposure to the potential career pathways available on the island. However, the particular focus group would be senior students, but this new initiative is targeted at all students across the board. The objective is to get students thinking about what kind of jobs they would like earlier on in their educations, so they can decide what subjects are needed for their career of choice. According to Niue High School Principal Charles Ioane, this is the second year that they have taken this approach, and it appears to be gaining momentum with more departments interested in joining. They've had representatives from the Niue Police Force, Fire Services, Taonga Niue, Utilities, Telecom, and many others. Each sector or division coming up with their own content delivery to encourage students to consider a particular career and also evaluate the level of interest. These sessions are held every 2 weeks on Tuesday mornings for 1 hour each, and each of the departments are placed on a rotational schedule. Ekalesia Kerisiano Niue congregations gathered at the Millennium Hall over the weekend for the annual Aho Me choir program. Each village congregation was given an opportunity to sing praises through traditional hymns, providing spiritual enlightenment for those present. The theme for this year's Aho Me was based on being called to preach and serve the Word of God. Aho Me is always celebrated every year, a week before Easter weekend, where congregations gather and sing church songs in front of the stage. According to the Ekalesia Niue committee member Fisa Pingia, this year was a good turnout for the congregations, and the songs were sung so beautifully, as well as being a delight to listen to. Another part of the program included offerings that would go towards developments within the church. Each congregation is required to present an offering after they sing their song, and this year's offerings totaled $40,000. According to the treasurer of the Ekalesia Niue, Kulupai Kihele, this has increased from last year. The expectation is that these funds will go towards the pastoral care of the pastors and also assist Ekalesia plans and programs throughout the year. And that concludes our news bulletin for this evening. Do join us again for our next news bulletin on Thursday.